We're going to apply z-score, min-max scaling. We're going to use pivot tables, one-hot encoding, identify outliers using Boxplot Whiskers, and IQR, use concatenate function, and Power Query to integrate tables. Okay, so first is to bring the customer name, the country, and email to the transaction sheet. Here, this was not there in the beginning. So we need to copy the customer name. Well, you can copy all together like so and delete. Control V, delete the length of experience and the region. So you need only customer name, country, and email. So how to import? How to bring the customer name, country, and email from another sheet? First, we have to look at common fields. So you can see here we have order ID and customer ID. Transaction sheet, user profile, we have customer ID, name, and so on. So the most common one is customer ID. Yeah, and it's the best to be used because it is unique here. If you're going to check, okay, conditional, highlight, duplicate values, okay, and filter. Sometimes, you know, the filter option is not available. So maybe you can copy and paste special values. Okay, now we can filter. Okay, so for example, duplicate values, filter. Yeah, let's check. Yes, we have duplicate values. So in this case, if there are some duplicate values and these are not needed actually, you have to clean the data first. So how to clean this? We have to select this column, okay, and open another sheet, Control V. So select this column, make this unique, okay, by clicking on data. So first select the column, data, remove duplicates. Okay, second one here, second one, okay. It will remove all the duplicates. So these are the values that are being duplicated here. So now what we're going to do is to delete these numbers one by one. So let's start with 105293. This. So now it's not highlighted. Then we have 105314. Delete only one row. Okay. If it is duplicated 3 times or more, you might have to delete more rows. In this case, it's only 2 times per customer ID. Next is 105360. So we delete 1, ensuring that it's not shaded anymore. 105419. So we delete 1, and here we delete 1 as well. So as you can see, nothing is highlighted there. And you filter again under home, filter to unfilter to show all the rows. And this, you may rename this as duplicated customer IDs, but removed already. Okay, so now this is fixed. We are going to import the customer name, the country, and the email. So you can select these columns and double click to adjust. So you'll have more space. Equals XLOOKUP. Okay, FX, click on FX to be guided, and lookup value means the common. As I said, the customer ID is common. So we're going to use the customer ID. We are in this particular row, so we have to use only the first value there. Lookup value means one value. This is the point of reference. This is what you're going to use to search the value from the other sheet. Lookup value is linked to the lookup array. So lookup array, this is the other sheet where you're going to get the value. Okay, the customer name. The customer name for this particular customer ID, we have 105419. Okay, so we have to move to the next lookup array and go to user profile and select the customer ID. So these two should be linked, lookup value and lookup array. Okay, so lookup array is from where you're going to extract. Okay, so these two should be linked. So lookup array is linked to B2. So our B2 here is 105419, and lookup array is the list of all the customer IDs where B2 is there. And return array is this field, customer name. The return array is the array arranged to return. So this is what you're looking for. You're looking for the customer name, but it is an array, so the whole column. All right, so lookup value is the value you're using to search for the username, the customer name, and it should be linked to this lookup array in the other sheet. So return array is from the user profile. Okay, it will be mentioned here anyway, user profile AA. That means it comes from here. Return array, user profile BB. It means user profile but column B, because column B is customer name. This is AA because this is customer ID linked to the lookup value here. If not found, you can just have double quotes not and double quotes, and match mode is 0. 0 means exact, because we are matching exactly every customer ID with the customer name. So exact match. We don't have, intervals. So 0. See, this is the customer name of this ID. If you're going to check 105419, you can copy that, and here Control F and Control V, find. You can see here that 105419 is user 186. That's the name. Okay, so that's the customer name, and just double click. Sometimes this double click doesn't work, so you have to drag it down, or maybe select Control Shift arrow down. Okay, so Control Shift arrow down to highlight everything. And then you have to, okay, so if that doesn't happen, sometimes, does not happen, so you have to drag it down until the last row. But the second anyway, it will be, I think it's because it is blank here. The first column is blank. Okay, it doesn't automatically drag down because of the blank here. So for example, if you're going to remove this column maybe, and yes, see, it's because of the blank column here, so we cannot immediately. So the technique is to remove this blank column. Okay, remove the blank column because C is difficult. We cannot drag it down automatically. So remove this, and now you can just double click this. Okay, it will, automatically fill all the blanks there. So this one, actually you can copy this formula. Okay, you don't need to do it, one by one. You just copy this formula. Okay, don't copy the equal sign. So what you're going to do is just to highlight from X until the end, Control C, escape, and here Control V. And now put the equal sign. So you don't need to repeat the whole process. Okay, so just change the return array because everything is the same except the return array. The return array is the country. So go to user profile and select the country column. And okay. So here we have UK and double click. So same thing here. Whatever you copied a while ago, just Control V. And again, put equal sign before the X. And click FX. Change the return array. Here we have email now. So we've changed this. Delete this. And select the email column. So very simple. Once you are done with the first, you can just copy the function without the equal sign and paste to solve the next. Okay. So 0 there, it means that particular person has no email. We are going to fix this later. Okay, so we are done here. Let's now have the next, removing the $sign in the total cost column. So total cost column is here. So there are some $signs there by mistake, like this. So we have to remove this, okay, by inserting another column here. And we can rename this as adjusted or corrected total cost. Okay, so we are going to correct this because these are errors actually. These are typos. So how to clean this? Equal substitute. Okay, you can type SUB, double click the first one. Okay, select the text, comma, double quotes, $sign, double quotes, because you're going to remove $sign, comma, double quotes, double quotes. It means we're going to replace it with blank and close, multiply by 1. You multiply by 1 because we want to convert it to number. Because if, for example, here, if you don't multiply this by 1, you just have equal substitute. Okay, let me have more space there. Substitute, select, and double quotes, $sign, double quotes, comma, double quotes, double quotes. 2 double quotes means space. If we close this and we don't multiply by 1, yes, we can see that there is a number there. But actually, this number is a text. Excel will not read this as a text because substitute function is a text function. So we need to multiply by 1 to make it numeric. So drag it down. So all of these are values now. Okay, so let's now have the next question. We have already cleaned this data. As you can see here, the $sign is removed. If there are many there, all of those $signs will be removed, even if it is in the middle. For example, like these. See, it's not there. So even if the dollar sign is inserted before, for example, here, before the number, is going to be removed. All right, so that's pretty easy. So now we are going to use this column. So maybe we can highlight the whole column. Means that this is the corrected one. Let's now have the applying the z-score and the min-max scaling. Z-score will convert all the values to -3 to 3. Okay, so the mean will become 0. So our mean will be 0. Let's try to do that. Let's insert here. As mentioned here, we're going to insert this immediately after the total cost column. Okay, so let us try to do that here. Z-score. The formula is equal to X. This is X minus mu minus mean over the standard deviation. So this is the formula. Equals, we have the X. X is this, the score, minus the mean. So average of this column, and then close, divide standard deviation. So this is a sample, so the second one of these. Okay, so any value higher than 3 or lower than -3 is a potential outlier. So this is a potential outlier, 4,500. And drag it down. Okay, so the values should be usually from -3 to 3. Outside these values are potential outliers. Next, we're going to have the min-max scaling equals the X minus the minimum over the range. Range is max minus the minimum. So the X is this, and the answer should be from 0 to 1. Okay, if the value is very close to 1, it is a potential outlier. So equals the X minus the min, as the minimum of these, close, over the range is max of the whole minus the minimum of the whole. Okay, so basically it is the score minus the minimum divided by the range. The range is maximum minus minimum. Okay, it doesn't give us the correct answer. Let's fix this. Okay, that means we need to close this one here. Okay. And here, max. All right, so here we have closed properly. So make sure that the answer should be from 0 to 1. See, this value is close to 1. It's very high. So it's a potential outlier. So you can check by inserting 2 columns here. Check the minimum and the maximum. Equals min The minimum of these is correct, 0. Max is 1. Okay, so the answers here should be 0 to 1 only. If the answers are not 0 to 1, then something is wrong with the formula. For the z-score, you can also check the minimum and the maximum. Here, this is the minimum, and the max is 4 point something. So it's outside the, the main curve.